Hytale has a ton of crazy mechanics, and they can be hard to learn since the game released a few short days ago. But in this video, I'm going to share what I have learned so far in my time playing. So sit back, grab a pen and paper, and take some notes. The first thing on the list is the memories mechanic. When you first load in, you'll notice something labeled the Forgotten Temple, which is very important, and you'll see why in a second. When you go in, underneath, there's a stone golem guarding a portal. But don't worry, the golem is very easy to defeat. As you see currently, I'm just using stone daggers. Now, once you have eliminated him, you gain the access to actually enter the portal, and you'll spawn into this beautiful temple area type thing with NPCs. When you run down to the center and interact with the lady, she makes it so you can obtain these things called memories from every single mob in the game. Simply walk near one and you'll obtain it. But you need to be very careful because you can only carry 48 memories at one time. So once you have collected a memory, you can deposit it back into the lady and start to fill up a progress bar. The progress bar is very important because this allows you to unlock new items. So you can unlock external seeds and you can unlock more teleporters, which brings us to our next topic. Teleporters will be extremely crucial in your Hytale adventure because there isn't a lot of movement so far and you will need to travel a lot. To make a teleporter, first you have to upgrade the workbench using 30 copper, 20 iron, and 20 linen scraps. Once this is done, you'll be able to now build the Arcanist workbench, which requires 20 thorium. I'll go over later how to get that, 30 linen scraps, which is from just basic skeleton mobs, and then 30 void essence, which so far I've found that the enemies that spawn on night have dropped it. Now, once you have built the Arcanist workbench, you can actually build the teleporters. Now, each teleporter costs 8 azure logs, 2 azure kelp, and 10 of any stone. You find the azure items in this blue region here, and the trees are obviously where you get the logs from, and the kelp can be found in the water, and it looks like this. Now, onto ore locations. First and foremost, the most basic ores, copper and iron, are going to be the ores that spawn in the starting forest. You can most likely just find them underground in a cave. Next, gold and silver can be found in the same spots, and I've typically found them either on the snowy biome mountains or just in the desert randomly. Thorium can be found in any one of the Howling Sands biomes, but I personally have had my best luck underground in the Badlands biome. Now, the next tier up, cobalt, is found all over the giant mountains in the cold regions, and it's pretty easy to spot. It's just out in the open. You don't have to go underground for it. Now, adamantite is a little trickier. It's located on these volcanic islands, but you have to be careful. It's not a guaranteed spawn on the entire island itself. There's 2 regions that it's going to spawn on the island. This purple maroon area and then this more sandy area. Both these spots are where you want to look for adamantite. Another cool mechanic added to Hytale is the roll mechanic. So when you're falling and you're going to take damage, you can hold down control and your guy will do a little roll. Now, you can't do this from every height, but it will save you at times. Next topic, food. In Hytale, food does not just give you health, it also gives you buffs. While meat gives you health buffs, berries give you stamina buffs, and normal vegetables, they give you both, but they're kind of terrible, so I wouldn't just eat normal vegetables. So what you do is you create a chef stove, and you can make all different kinds of mixtures. Most importantly, when you combine food, it will stack both buffs. So you can get health and stamina in one buff. That being said, sometimes there are some mixtures that aren't worth it because it doesn't change the buff, so do not do those. But knowing this will help you a ton during your Hytale adventure. Correlating with food, we have farming. Farming is far more complicated in this game than it is in others. You have to make seeds in the farmer's workbench with essences of life, which is obtained when harvesting plants. So to start off, when you first spawn in, I recommend just running around, and if you happen to see wheat plants or any other plants, harvest them so you could start stacking them. Now, to unlock new seeds, you have to actually upgrade the workbench, which stinks because it's kind of a pain, but it doesn't actually take all that much. Once you get a farm started, you can kind of just keep buying seeds and just turning plants back into essences of life, and it's a whole big circle, and it doesn't take long to upgrade the workbench. Once you get going, it's super easy. A super useful combat mechanic that a lot of people don't know is the little push that you can do. So while you're holding your guard, when you hit your light attack button, you do a push, and it has a cool animation for each weapon, and this is super useful. You can push back enemies if they're getting too close, and it's awesome. Now onto gear progression. Remember the ores I mentioned earlier? Well, for each one, excluding gold and silver, there's a set of gear that goes with them. And sometimes the higher level of ores will give different bonuses, but throughout them, they increase with normal protection. So it's all just a use case scenario. Thorium gives bonus poison resistance. Cobalt increases your signature attack damage. Adamantite increases your light attack damage. Now to unlock this gear, you'll need an armorer's workbench and a blacksmith's anvil. Obviously, you craft armor in the armorer's one. You will need to upgrade each workbench separately, of course, so that takes a ton of materials, unfortunately, but once you upgrade them, they stay there. Just do not break them, because when you break an upgraded workbench, it doesn't keep its level. So remember, do not break your workbenches. So once you upgrade them, then you can just make the armor that you want, and as you see, it unlocks and unlocks and unlocks. Another awesome mechanic that they included is that all the crafting stations will pull from your chests. Now, it is a proximity-based thing, so it seems you have to be in a proximity about 6 or 7 blocks from the chest. But if you do it right, you can have a bunch of chests stacked near all your stations, and you can easily craft things all the time, which kind of makes it so you don't have to sort all the time. As you can see here, when I go to craft an item, the little chest symbol means that it is pulling those items from a chest. So once I craft it, those items will actually be used from inside the chest, which is really cool and saves so much time. Finally, let's talk about building. There are a ton of blocks in this game and a ton of ways you could place them, but you might be wondering how to get fences or slabs because there isn't a way to craft them in the normal workbench. So what you'll need to do is make a builder's workbench, but don't worry, you don't have to upgrade this one. All you do is insert a block that can be made into something else, so a wood log or cobblestone, and once you've done that, on the right side there's a bunch of different options that pop up. So you can take wood and make it into fences, fence gates, doors, and a couple other furniture items. And then I think there's also a furniture's workbench, but I personally have not dabbled with yet. Something else that I've found is that cobblestone can be made into stone, and then stone from there can actually make a whole new different set of items. So keep that in mind when you're trying to do cool builds. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know which tip helped you the most down in the comments. I recommend my Let's Play series, especially starting from episode 4. That's when it gets really good.